Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about how to custom build your own De-Esser plugin. And I'm going to use Reaper, but this should work for any DAW. Up here on the website, I've been doing a little bit of remodeling up here. So at this time, I think it's around 7,200 podcasts that we've analyzed. We've got a new forum that we got going on up here, strictly dedicated to podcasting and the audiobook community. If you want to set up to record through the ACX or meet their qualifications, their parameters and everything, then this is a place you can come up here and get some one-on-one instruction type of deal, okay? But right now we're going to jump over to homerecording.com. This is a online forum community that I'm a proud member of. And we've got a question up here that was asked, help me find a De-Esser plugin for spoken word or podcast. Now, the people that posted it, like I told them in the post, I like their audio. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but that's the thing. If it's bugging you and you want to take it out, then, by all means, that's what you need to do. So if you're into sports and you're looking for a podcast to listen, come check these guys out. And just Google for TV Sports Podcast, FOUR, TV Sports Podcast. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump into Reaper. Now, what I've done is, the first thing I've done is simply separated their audio. Okay, the first track here is their intro with music, and we can just play a little bit of that.
There's no arguments. Those are called ass tunes.
Okay, now the second track is where they're still kind of talking. They got some music playing in the background, and you see I've got a gate up here, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
What's up, 4TV Sports listeners? This is the 4TV Sports Podcast. I'm Matt.
Okay, so I've separated that track. So down here on the third track, this is just strictly the podcast. Oh, we don't need you up there right now. So this is why you need to separate your tracks. If you're doing a podcast, and you've got multiple hosts, you've got guest hosts, you need to be able to apply different plugins or FX for each individual track. And I'm going to show you why. Now, right up here, I've got it marked bad gate. Okay. Now, I want you to listen to this as they're talking, and I've got it turned off right now. So as it goes through, you're going to hear the audio come in, the background music, and as they start to speak, you'll hear it fade out. So let's just listen to that.
Athletic. You're like, are you Slim Joe?
See, it stopped right about there. So now if I turn this FX on, you're going to hear this gate cut this music out, and it's going to make it choppy. So let's listen to that. And by the way, if you don't have headphones on, you need to put them on. Okay, a cheap pair of headphones are going to be much better, unless you just got some really awesome monitors. Okay, or even earbuds will be better than desktop speakers. So let's listen to it. Cut that out.
Athletic. You're like, are you Slim?
Did you hear it right there? Right in here is where that music gets chopped.
Athletic. You're like, are you Slim Joe?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I do have a gate on this track over here, which is their podcast track. And what I'm doing is right over here. Is where you can hear the breathing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this gate off, and let's go ahead and loop this, and let's just listen to the breath. That's what that is. So when we turn this gate back on, let's listen to it now. You see, guys, it just totally takes it out. But if I was just to use this gate on this entire file, you can see what it did over here to the audio. And if you have a co-host or you have somebody in the background that's giving a reply that's, lower than what the normal volume should be, it's just going to chop that out and it's going to sound terrible. Okay? So I know we're dealing with de-essers, but I'm just trying to show you a little bit of my workflow. I produce 32 podcasts at this time, and this is my workflow. This is what I do, and I get asked this all the time. So I figure I'd kind of throw it in here a little bit on this particular video. Okay, so bad gate effect. Here is the SS peak. So let's go ahead and where are we at? There we go. Look at the waveform. Okay, you see this? You see how it's so much higher? Listen to this right here.
Slim, slim, slim.
Okay, so you can see the S in slim is making this waveform peak. Now, a lot of this is going to deal with your recording environment, how you have your mic set up, what type of mic you're using, but we're not going to deal with that in this particular video. We're simply going to show how to go in and find the frequency to where you can set your EQ up in order to reduce or duck that audio. Now, again, you are never going to be able to totally remove it. If you do, all your S's would disappear. It would sound extremely unnatural. All we want to do is reduce the volume. Okay? So, over here, Slim Jim. Let's go ahead and blow him up. And there it is. So I'm just simply going to come up here in Reaper, and I'm going to just create a little window here. And we're going to capture this. Now up here, I've got the toggle repeat. So let's listen to this. It's going to be a little annoying, but let's just listen to it. Okay, that's the first part of that S sound. So now on the master track, I just have an analyzer up here. And I want you to look over here to the left at this dB area. And also, I know already because I've already set it up, it's going to come in around 4,900 hertz. Okay, so let's watch this. You see it peaking right here? You see it coming in right here? Look at the dB. It's around a negative maybe 14, 15, around 4,900 hertz. Let's watch it again. Okay, so now we know what our hertz is. Let's go up here. Now, you can do this several different ways. Okay, this is strictly a stock mud-free EQ. Now, look around the 4,900 hertz. You can see how this has dropped down. It's been cut or ducked, reduced, however you want to say it. So let's break up our notch EQ. I'm going to turn this off. And let's watch this again now. Let's remember, look at the 4,900 over here. But now look over here at the decibel meter when we do this. You see, now it's around the negative 24. So we've reduced it that way. So if we bring up notch EQ, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. We'll turn this one on. We don't need this. And I want to show you here real fast. As you can see, I'm around the 4,900. I've got it reduced by a negative 37 or 34.7 dBs. Now, the bandwidth is strictly this. Okay, and you have to keep this in mind. When you use these notch filters, not only are you reducing this band at 4,900, but you're also slightly reducing to the left and to the right. Okay, right now it's set at a negative 19. As you can see, as I come in, I'm not affecting as much as that bandwidth. But in order for me to get what I want to get as far as what I think it should sound like, I'm going to be somewhere right here in this area. Okay? So now let's watch this again. You see, all this peak is gone now. Now it's down around the negative 36. Okay? So I'm going to simply play this, and I'm going to start turning this EQ or the FX chain on and off, and you'll see this graph jump. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and that's it, guys. Now, like I said, I'm using a MP3 file that's already been mixed and mastered. If this file was sent to me raw, if all these tracks, these stems were sent to me, I would have them set up individually, and I would go through and I would work on each individual track to get it to what I thought made it sound the best. So now with everything engaged, and also you should realize that if you're going to use an EQ and then use a notch filter, you want that notch filter at the end of that FX chain. Because if I sit here and take it and I put it up first, and that's what it just did, it just moved it now. Well, once the signal comes through the gate, it's going to come through this notch. But then when it comes back to this EQ, if you've got this area boosted, or if this was a female, and let's just say that, where are we at? Sorry about that, guys. Intimate female vocal. See how it just raised that right there? Well, I took the notch out, but then when it comes through this EQ, it's going to raise it right back up again. So we'll go ahead and put this back to mud free. We'll go ahead and put it back here in the right way it needs to be. And now let's just go through and listen to this. We'll unloop it, and I'm going to just play a few seconds with it on, play a few seconds with it off.
The brother of Slim Jim. Very skinny family, slim family.
4TV Sports Podcast. We've got 4 TVs on the wall. 4. Got sports or whatever on constantly.
If I'm gone and I walk in, sometimes Joey will have 4 different episodes of The Bachelor on, but that's a different story.
Or women's basketball.
Or women's basketball. Or cricket. Or billiards.
Okay, so as you can see automatically, that by having this mud-free EQ on, it's taken all the highs out. Now, depending on your situation and where you're recording and what type of microphone that you're going to use, all of this is going to affect your de-essing. So now I'm going to turn this plugin off, and we're strictly going to go with the notch filter now. Okay? So we have the notch filter and we have the gate. The gate does not affect the audio sound quality whatsoever, other than the fact of, taking out what we don't want in there. So let's go ahead and listen to this now.
The brother of Slim Jim. Very skinny family, slim family.
4TV Sports Podcast. We've got 4 TVs on the wall. 4. Got sports or whatever on constantly. If I'm gone and I walk in, sometimes Joey.
Okay, and that's it, guys. That's how you go in there and you isolate your S sound for your de-esser. You trap it. You bring up your spectrum analyzer. You find out, what hertz that it's actually coming through. And then you go from there. All right? Take care. God bless. And we are out of here.